Today we are making Keema Pastries.
I really need you to hear what I'm saying.
Great recipe for Ramadan. We like stuff that we can freeze and prep beforehand. So this is one of those kind of recipes that you can freeze. Start with the onions first, and we're going to dice the onions. So I've just peeled my onion and I'm going to dice it. So you do yours however you do. I'm no professional chef, so I just do mine anyhow. You just want to dice your onion, okay? I'm going to put them to the side in a plate. So once you've diced up your onion, you want to prepare your garlic. So I'm going to peel my garlic. I've got about 5 cloves of garlic here. I peeled all my garlic and now I'm going to dice it. And again, if you want to use a chopper, guys, by all means, use a chopper. You can put that in the same plate as your onions. I'm going to go on to our ginger. You want about a thumb-sized piece of ginger, guys, and then you're just going to peel your ginger. I just use a hand grater and we just grate the ginger, okay? So that will make it nice and fine and you won't even realize it's there in the recipe. Apart from the flavor, you won't actually feel it in your teeth. I hate biting onto big pieces of ginger. Goes into our plate as well. So that is most of our prep done, okay? You can use any mince, you can use chicken, you can use beef, you can use mutton, you can use a mixture, absolutely up to you, okay? So I've got my half a kg of mince, okay, and I've got my pot, and I'm going to put my mince in my pot, and then everything that we prepared, so our onions, our garlic and our ginger, that's all going in to the pot as well with the mince. Salt first, so like a heaped teaspoon of salt in there. And then half a teaspoon of red chilli powder, okay? 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. I've just got some cold tap water and I'm just going to put a glass of cold tap water in there. This will soften the onions, it'll soften the garlic, it'll soften the ginger, it'll steam the meat and then help us cook it as well. And then we're going to saute it later. You just can put that on a high heat, okay? And we're going to bring it to a boil. And once it starts boiling, we're going to turn it down and we're going to let it steam for about 10 to 15 minutes. I haven't got much water in there, so it started bubbling already, okay? Okay. And I'm just going to give it a mix and then I'm going to put it on simmer. So I'm going to put the heat down to a medium to low heat and we're just going to allow that to steam away for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's have a look. It's looking all right. So now I'm going to increase the heat, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry out all the water that's left in there. You can see there's a little bit of water left in there. So I want to dry that out completely before I put any oil in there, okay? Right, so that water is pretty much dried out. We're going to add in our oil now. So you need about, I'd say 4 to 5 tablespoons of oil. Okay, don't make it too greasy. So just 4 to 5 tablespoons of oil. Any cooking oil that you normally use. Coriander powder, half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Half a teaspoon of red chili flakes. You can put lesser or more in if you want to. And basically you're going to saute that for a few minutes until everything is nice and cooked. About 5 to 6 minutes until the keema is cooked thoroughly. And you can adjust the spices according to your own taste as well. Cook it until it's nice and brown. Right, so this is pretty much done, guys. I'm going to turn the heat off now. Once the heat is off, I'm going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. And you can also add fresh coriander at this point if you want to. Just give the garam masala a mix in so that it's mixed in everywhere. You want your filling to be room temperature when you add it into your pastry, otherwise your pastry is just going to go soggy. So I'm going to put it into a plate. So we're just going to spread that out so that it cools down faster, okay? Put our filling to the side for now, let it cool. At this point we're going to get our pastry out of the fridge now. We don't want to take it out too early because it would have gone too soggy for us to work with. So you can use any pastry you like. You can do the one that you roll out yourself, because you want to make sure you take them out about 5 to 10 minutes before you start filling them. Temperature we preheated our oven to was 180 fan, 200 if you don't have a fan assisted oven, and gas mark 6. Look at our pastry now. Yeah, so it looks like it's ready to work with. So let's unroll our pastry. We've got a rectangle here. I'm going to cut it in half. So the way I'm going to make sure that it's exactly half is I'm going to fold the pastry over on itself, okay, and line it up. And I'm just going to gently press down the middle just to make a mark, and then we unfold it again, and that will give us a mark exactly down the center of our pastry. So that's where we're going to cut it using a sharp knife. So cut your pastry down the center on the mark that you just made. Right, so this will make 2 of our rolls. Okay, we're gonna make 4 in total. So our mixture has cooled down. So I'm gonna split it in half, separate it into a separate plate. So I've got half of the keema out into a separate plate, and then we're gonna add to that some cheese. So I like to mix the cheese in with the keema. That's why ideally you want it to be completely cold. A couple of handfuls of cheese, okay? Most precise measurement. Grated cheddar I'm using, okay? If you mix it in with the mince like this, you'll get a mixture of cheese and mince in your filling. Half of this is going to go in one and half of this is going to go in the other one. So the way you're going to fill them, so leave about 1 inch from the top, because we're going to fold that bit down, and then you fill a decent amount of filling all the way down your pastry, okay? And leave 1 inch at the bottom as well, and you're leaving a couple of inches on each side, because we're going to fold those over into the middle. So the cutting part, okay, so once you've got your filling in there, make 2 cuts that are alongside these where your filling is. So you want to make a cut there and then a cut there, so, and then do the same at the bottom, okay, a cut there and a cut there, okay. Fold over those top bits, that inch that you left, onto your keema, and same from the bottom as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make slits in the pastry, okay? So you're going to do these on a diagonal, okay? So you're going to start in the corner, and you're going to make cuts all the way up to where your pastry is, and they're going to be about 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters apart, okay? Just like this. Diagonal cuts. Try and make them as even as possible. You just start folding them over one after the other. So the right side or the left side down first, and then the other side comes down, okay? And then you kind of just fold them over the top of each other. And this will make a nice design on your pastry, like a plait, okay? So just do that with each one. Try to put them as close as you possibly can. Don't leave too much of a big gap in between. Pat it down gently so that it kind of sticks together. So what we're going to do now is egg wash them. Egg washing is like optional. It just gives a nice shine to the pastry, makes it go nice and brown as well. You can use milk instead of egg. So crack my egg into a small bowl. So just whisk up your egg. Now we are going to egg wash. Then we are going to go ahead and add our sesame seeds. So this is optional, you don't have to do them. Just gives a nice look. So sprinkle some sesame seeds over the top. Now if you wanted to, before you put the egg wash on, you would freeze them at that point, and then when you want to bake them, you just take them out of the freezer and then egg wash them, and then you can put your sesame seeds on and then bake them, okay? And we are going to move them onto a baking tray. If you've got any excess baking paper on the sides, like I have here, too much, then you want to get rid of some of it so that it doesn't fly over with the fan and blow onto your pastry. So just get rid of that excess baking paper. Now they are ready to go in the oven, 20 minutes ideally. They'll go nice and golden brown. you can add mixed veg. So red peppers, green peppers, carrots and potatoes. And then saute them with the spices and use that as your filling. Okay, so the pasties are done and out of the oven. And that is what the pasty looks like. Once it's cooked, it should be hollow sounding from the bottom, and the top should be a nice dark golden brown colour on top. So I've got a sharp knife. You can cut it in any size portions that you want to when you're serving it. Hear that crunch. It's full of keema and cheese. Oh, thank you so much for joining me today for today's Keema Pastries. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.